its power over you. It no longer defines you or limits you. Instead, it becomes a tool for your growth and development. We often think of success and failure as opposites, as mutually exclusive states. But the truth is, they are intimately connected. Success is built on the foundation of failure. The story of your life, failure, my friends, is a lesson, a powerful, transformative lesson that has the potential to propel you toward heights of success you've never imagined. When you first learned to ride a bicycle, did you hop on and immediately pedal away with perfect balance and control? Of course not. You wobbled, you fell, you scraped your knees and perhaps shed a few tears. But did those falls mark the end of your cycling journey? No. Each tumble taught you something. You learned to balance, to steer, to pedal with just the right amount of force. Those failures were the very steps that led you to master the skill. As adults, why do we forget this fundamental truth? Why do we allow the fear of failure to paralyze us, to keep us from reaching for our dreams, from stepping into our full potential? The answer lies in our perception. Somewhere along the way, we've been conditioned to see failure as a reflection of our worth, as a final judgment on our abilities. But this perception is not just wrong, it's dangerous. It robs us of opportunities for growth, for innovation, for true success. The light bulb that illuminates your home, the phone in your pocket, the medicines that save lives, all of these were born from a process of trial and error, of repeated failures that eventually led to breakthroughs. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10.000 ways that won't work." This mindset, this ability to see failure not as an end but as a stepping stone, is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who merely dream of it. There was once a young woman named Maya. From a young age, Maya dreamed of becoming a renowned chef. She would spend hours in her grandmother's kitchen, experimenting with spices and flavors, creating dishes that sometimes delighted and other times, well, let's just say they were less than palatable. As Maya grew older, her passion for culinary arts only intensified. She worked tirelessly, saving every penny to attend the most prestigious culinary school in the country. The day she received her acceptance letter was the happiest of her life. She felt as though she was finally on the path to realizing her dreams. But life, my friends, had other plans for Maya. On her very first day at culinary school, disaster struck. In her eagerness to impress, Maya attempted an ambitious dish, a complex fusion of traditional and modern cuisines. As she presented her creation to the head chef, her hands trembling with excitement and nerves, she tripped. The dish went flying, splattering across the pristine white uniform of the very person she was trying to impress. In that moment, Maya felt her world crumbling around her. The laughter of her classmates echoed in her ears. The disappointment in the chef's eyes burned into her memory. She was certain her culinary career was over before it had even begun. That night, Maya called her grandmother, tears streaming down her face as she recounted the day's events. And do you know what her grandmother told her? She said, "Maya, my child, in cooking as in life, the most exquisite flavors often come from the dishes that didn't turn out as planned." Those words stuck with Maya. Instead of giving up, she chose to see this embarrassing incident not as a failure, but as a lesson. She realized that her eagerness had led her to attempt something beyond her current skill level. But rather than letting this realization discourage her, she used it as fuel. Maya dedicated herself to mastering the basics. She practiced chopping vegetables until her hands ached. She studied flavor profiles with the intensity of a scholar poring over ancient texts. She embraced every criticism, every correction, as a stepping stone toward improvement. Years passed, and Maya not only graduated at the top of her class, but went on to become one of the most innovative chefs in the industry. Her signature dish, a refined version of that very same fusion recipe that had once been her greatest embarrassment. My friends, Maya's story teaches us a profound truth. Failure is not the end, it's a lesson. It's the universe's way of redirecting us, of showing us where we need to grow, where we need to focus our efforts. I want you to think about a recent failure in your own life. Maybe it was a business venture that didn't pan out. Perhaps it was a relationship that ended. It could be a goal you set for yourself that you didn't achieve. Whatever it is. I want you to look at it not as a dead end, but as a detour. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this experience make me stronger, wiser, better equipped for future challenges? What skills do I need to develop? What knowledge do I need to acquire? When you start viewing your failures this way, you'll realize that you haven't really failed at all. You've simply discovered one way that doesn't work. And knowing what doesn't work is just as valuable as knowing what does. It's not enough to just experience failure. You must actively engage with it. You must dissect it, analyze it, extract the lessons it offers. A process of reflection and learning is what transforms failure from a stumbling block into a stepping stone. I think of failure as feedback from the universe. It's telling you, not this way, try another path. It's guiding you, refining you, preparing you for the success that awaits you. I know what some of you might be thinking. That's all well and good, but failure hurts. It's discouraging. It makes me want to give up. And you're right, failure can be painful. It can shake your confidence, make you question your abilities, your worth. That pain, that discomfort, it's not your enemy. It's a sign of growth. Just as a muscle must be stressed and broken down to grow stronger, so too must we experience the discomfort of failure to grow wiser, more resilient, more capable. The key is to change your relationship with this discomfort. Instead of fearing it, learn to embrace it. See it as a sign that you're pushing yourself, that you're stretching beyond your current limitations. Comfort is the enemy of growth. If you're not failing occasionally, it means you're not pushing yourself hard enough. You're not taking enough risks. You're not stretching yourself to your full potential. Fear of failure is one of the most powerful forces holding people back from achieving their dreams. It keeps us in our comfort zones, prevents us from taking risks, from pursuing opportunities. The fear of failure is often far worse than failure itself. Failure is a moment, a temporary setback, but the fear of failure can paralyze you for a lifetime. So how do we overcome this fear? The first step is to reframe your understanding of failure. Instead of seeing it as a reflection of your worth or abilities, see it as a natural part of the learning process. Just as a scientist conducts many experiments before making a breakthrough, you too must be willing to experiment in your life, to try new things, to risk failure in pursuit of your goals. The second step is to build your resilience. Resilience is not about never falling, it's about always getting back up. It's about facing adversity with determination and grit. It's about seeing challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. Resilience is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. And you know what provides the best workout for your resilience muscle? That's right, failure. Each time you fail and choose to get back up. Each time you face a setback and choose to keep going. You're building your resilience. You're becoming stronger, more capable of handling whatever life throws your way. But building resilience isn't just about toughening up. It's also about developing a growth mindset. This is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. People with a growth mindset don't see failure as a reflection of their innate abilities. Instead, they see it as a temporary setback, a challenge to be overcome, an opportunity to learn and grow. Cultivating a growth mindset means embracing challenges, persisting in the face of setbacks, seeing effort as the path to mastery, learning from criticism, and finding lessons and inspiration in the success of others. With a growth mindset, failure loses its power over you. It no longer defines you or limits you. Instead, it becomes a tool for your growth and development. We often think of success and failure as opposites, as mutually exclusive states. But the truth is, they are intimately connected. Success is built on the foundation of failure. It is through our failures that we gain the wisdom, the resilience, the character needed to truly succeed. When a toddler is learning to walk, do we consider their stumbles and falls as failures? Of course not. We see each wobble, each stumble as a necessary part of the learning process. We encourage them to get back up, to try again. We celebrate their persistence, not their perfection. So why do we stop applying this mindset as we grow older? Why do we start seeing failure as something to be ashamed of, something to hide, something to fear? The truth is, my friends, that mindset is holding you back. It's keeping you small. It's preventing you from reaching your full potential. The next time you face a setback, I want you to say to yourself, this is not failure. This is feedback. This is not the end. This is a lesson. But it's not enough to just say the words. You need to act on them. And that brings me to a crucial point. How do we transform failure from a stumbling block into a stepping stone? The first step is to change your perspective. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of your abilities or your worth, see it as data. It's information that you can use to refine your approach, to improve your strategy. When you fail, ask yourself these questions. What went wrong? Why did it go wrong? What can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to do better next time? This shift in perspective is powerful. It moves you from a place of victimhood to a place of empowerment. You're no longer at the mercy of your failures. You're in control of your growth. The second step is to embrace discomfort. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. If you're not failing occasionally, it means you're not pushing yourself hard enough. You're not taking enough risks. You're not stretching yourself to your full potential. Remember, the master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. Every expert was once a beginner. Every success story is built on a foundation of failures and lessons learned. The third step is to develop a system for learning from your failures. This means taking the time to reflect on your experiences, to analyze what went wrong and why. It means being honest with yourself about your mistakes and shortcomings, not to berate yourself, but to identify areas for improvement. Keep a failure journal. After each setback, write down what happened, what you learned, and how you plan to apply that lesson moving forward. This practice not only helps you extract maximum value from your failures, but also helps you see your growth over time. The fourth step is to surround yourself with the right people. The people around you have a profound impact on how you view failure. Surround yourself with individuals who understand the value of failure, who will support you through your setbacks, and who will encourage you to keep pushing forward. Seek out mentors who have walked the path before you. Learn from their failures and successes. Let their experiences guide you and inspire you. The fifth step is to celebrate your failures. Yes, you heard me right. Celebrate them. Not because you enjoy failing, but because each failure is a sign that you're pushing yourself, that you're taking risks, that you're on the path to growth and success. When you fail, take a moment to acknowledge your courage. It takes bravery to put yourself out there, to risk failure in pursuit of your dreams. That courage is worth celebrating regardless of the outcome. Persistence is the bridge between failure and success. It's what keeps you going when everything seems to be falling apart. It's what turns momentary defeat into ultimate victory. But persistence doesn't mean blindly repeating the same actions and expecting different results. That's not persistence, that's insanity. True persistence means learning from each failure, adjusting your approach, and trying again with new knowledge and improved skills. Each failure is a step on the staircase to success. But you can't reach the top by standing still. You have to keep climbing, keep learning, keep growing. Remember Maya, our aspiring chef. Her persistence wasn't just about trying the same dish over and over again. It was about studying, practicing, refining her skills, about learning from each mistake and using that knowledge to improve. That's the kind of persistence I'm talking about. The kind that combines determination with adaptability, grit with wisdom. Failure and creativity are deeply intertwined. Some of the most creative solutions, the most innovative ideas come from the ashes of failure. When we fail, we're forced to think differently, to approach problems from new angles. Failure breaks us out of our routines, our comfortable patterns of thinking. It challenges us to innovate, to find new ways of doing things. In fact, many great inventions and discoveries were the result of failures or mistakes. Penicillin, one of the most important medical discoveries of the 20th century, was discovered when Alexander Fleming accidentally contaminated a culture of bacteria. What could have been seen as a ruined experiment instead became a life-saving breakthrough. The message here is clear. Don't be afraid to experiment, to try new things, to think outside the box. Your failures might just lead you to your greatest breakthroughs. Now, talk about something that often goes hand in hand with failure: rejection. Whether it's a job application, a business proposal, or a personal relationship, rejection can feel like failure. It can be discouraging, even devastating. Rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It's simply a mismatch between what you're offering and what the other party is looking for at that moment. J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter manuscript was rejected by 12 different publishers before it was finally accepted. Stephen King's first novel, Carrie, was rejected 30 times. These rejections weren't a judgment of the quality of their work or their potential as writers. They were simply part of the process. When you face rejection, instead of internalizing it as failure, read as redirection. Maybe this particular opportunity wasn't right for you. Maybe you need to refine your approach. Or maybe you're simply on the wrong path, and this rejection is guiding you toward where you're meant to be. Remember, every no brings you one step closer to a yes. Every rejection is an opportunity to learn, to improve, to get closer to your goals. The idea that successful people don't fail, nothing could be further from the truth. Successful people fail all the time. The difference is in how they respond to failure. They don't let failure define them. They don't let it stop them. Instead, they use it as fuel. They learn from it, grow from it, use it to propel themselves forward. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. She was fired from her first television job as an anchor in Baltimore, where she was told she was unfit for TV news. But instead of giving up on her dreams, she used that setback to redirect her career. She went on to become one of the most successful talk show hosts in history, building a media empire and inspiring millions. Or consider Steve Jobs. He was famously ousted from Apple, the company he co-founded. But he didn't let this enormous setback end his career. Instead, he used that time to explore new ideas, founding NXT Computer and Pixar. When he eventually returned to Apple, he led the company to become one of the most valuable and innovative in the world. These stories teach us that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. It's a stepping stone on the path to achieving your dreams. The role of self-compassion in dealing with failure. Often, when we fail, our harshest critic is ourselves. We berate ourselves, question our worth, our abilities. But this self-criticism is not only unhelpful, it's actively harmful to our growth and success. Self-compassion, on the other hand, allows us to acknowledge our failures without being crushed by them. It involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a dear friend facing a similar situation. When you approach your failures with self-compassion, you create a safe space for honest reflection and growth. Self-compassion doesn't mean making excuses or avoiding responsibility. It means acknowledging your humanity, recognizing that everyone makes mistakes, and treating yourself with kindness as you learn and grow from those mistakes. Practicing self-compassion in the face of failure can be challenging, especially if you're used to being hard on yourself. But it's a skill worth cultivating. Start by becoming aware of your self-talk when you fail. Are you berating yourself? Calling yourself names? Now, imagine what you would say to a friend in the same situation. Chances are you'll be much kinder and more supportive. Try to extend that same kindness to yourself. Being compassionate with yourself doesn't make you weak or complacent. On the contrary, Research has shown that self-compassion is associated with greater motivation, resilience, and overall well-being. When you're not afraid of beating yourself up over every mistake, you become more willing to take risks, to push yourself.
Well, here we are again, wondering, is this job right for me? Everyone gets itchy feet, especially in their first job. But you could try LinkedIn job collections. They've got loads of roles tailored to your interests, like career progression. If you're looking for a new role, LinkedIn knows how.
To embrace challenges, all of which are essential for growth and success. Your mindset, the set of beliefs and attitudes you hold about yourself and the world, plays a crucial role in how you respond to failure. A fixed mindset sees abilities as static and unchangeable, leading to a fear of failure and a tendency to give up easily. A growth mindset, on the other hand, sees abilities as capable of development through effort and learning. Cultivating a growth mindset is key to turning failure into a stepping stone for success. It allows you to see challenges as opportunities, criticism as feedback, and setbacks as temporary. With a growth mindset, you're more likely to persist in the face of obstacles, to learn from your mistakes, and to achieve your goals. But how do you develop a growth mindset? It starts with awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts and reactions when faced with challenges or setbacks. Do you tend to give up easily? Do you see your abilities as fixed? Once you're aware of your mindset, you can start to shift it. Challenge your fixed mindset thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking, I'm not good at this, add the word yet to the end. I'm not good at this yet. This simple addition acknowledges that with effort and practice, you can improve. Embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. Instead of avoiding difficult tasks, seek them out. Remember, it's through stretching yourself that you develop new skills and abilities. Value effort over outcome. While results are important, focusing solely on outcomes can lead to fear of failure. Instead, celebrate the effort you put in, the persistence you show, the strategies you try. These are the things that lead to growth and ultimately to success. Learn to reframe failure. Instead of seeing failure as a judgment on your abilities, see it as feedback. It's information you can use to adjust your approach, to refine your strategies, to get better next time. Now let's delve into the concept of failing forward. This idea, popularized by author John C. Maxwell, suggests that failure is not just something to be overcome, but a tool that can propel us towards success. Failing forward means extracting value from every failure, using each setback as a launching pad for growth. It's about maintaining momentum, even in the face of obstacles. When you fail forward, you're not just picking yourself up after a fall. You're using the energy of that fall to propel yourself further than you were before. To fail forward, start by redefining failure. Instead of seeing it as an event, see it as a process. Failure isn't falling down, it's falling down and choosing to stay down. As long as you get back up, as long as you learn and grow from the experience, you haven't truly failed. Next, focus on progress, not perfection. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Celebrate these small wins. They build momentum and boost your confidence, making it easier to persist in the face of future challenges. Develop a problem-solving mindset. When faced with a setback, instead of dwelling on what went wrong, focus on finding solutions. Ask yourself, what can I do differently next time? How can I turn this situation around? Learn to separate your failures from your identity. Just because you failed at something doesn't mean you are a failure. Your worth is not determined by your successes or failures, but by your inherent value as a human being. Failing forward also means being willing to take calculated risks. Every great achievement requires some level of risk. By being willing to fail, you open yourself up to possibilities that you might otherwise miss. Failing forward is not about failing more. It's about extracting more value from the failures you inevitably experience. It's about turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones, obstacles into opportunities. I want to address one final, Crucial point. The importance of taking action. All the knowledge about failure. All the mindset shifts. All the strategies for resilience, they mean nothing if you don't put them into practice. The knowledge without action is like a car without fuel. It might look good, but it won't take you anywhere. So I challenge you, starting today, to take action. Embrace the possibility of failure. Step out of your comfort zone. Pursue that dream you've been putting off because you're afraid of failing. Remember, the greatest risk is not in failing, it's in never trying at all. The pain of regret is far more lasting than the pain of failure. So take that first step, however small it may be. Apply for that job, start that business. Have that difficult conversation. Write that book. Whatever it is that you've been holding back on out of fear of failure, do it. And when you fail, because you will fail, we all do, remember everything we've discussed today. Treat that failure as a lesson, as feedback, as a stepping stone on your path to success. Extract every ounce of learning from it. Use it to fuel your growth, to refine your approach, to propel you forward. Failure is not the end. It's not even the enemy. Failure is life's way of redirecting you, of teaching you, of preparing you for the success that awaits you. Remember, the only real failure is giving up. As long as you keep learning, keep growing, keep pushing forward, you haven't failed. You're simply on the path to success. Your failures do not define you. Your response to them does. So respond with courage. Respond with determination. Respond with the unshakable belief that every setback is setting you up for a comeback. You have greatness within you. Your failures don't negate that greatness, they reveal it. They challenge you to dig deeper, to push harder, to become more than you ever thought possible. So embrace your failures, learn from them, grow through them, and watch as they transform from stumbling blocks into stepping stones, leading you to heights of success you never dreamed possible. The road ahead may not be easy. There will be challenges, there will be setbacks. There will be moments when giving up seems like the easiest option. But you are stronger than your struggles. You are more resilient than your setbacks. You have within you the power to turn your biggest failures into your greatest triumphs. As you go forward from this place, carry with you the lessons we discussed today. Let them guide you, inspire you, empower you to face your failures with courage and determination. And most importantly, your story is still being written. Your failures are not the conclusion, they're merely plot twists in the grand narrative of your life. The real story is how you choose to respond to these challenges, how you choose to learn and grow from them. So write your story boldly. Face your failures with courage. Embrace your setbacks as opportunities for growth. And never, ever give up on your dreams. For in the end, it's not the absence of failure that defines a successful life. It's the presence of perseverance. It's the willingness to fall and get back up, to fail and try again, to face adversity and keep moving forward. You have that strength within you. You have that resilience. You have the power to turn your failures into the foundation of your success.
At Quaker, we know that when you make real food like porridge, it can be a bit, well, lumpy, splodgy, stodgy, goopy, bloopy.
Today, my closest friend. So my deepest.
Life doesn't always go our way, and you're right, life doesn't always go the way we plan. But here's the kicker. It's not about life going exactly as planned. It's about your attitude and approach to whatever life throws your way. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to breeze through life, turning every challenge into an opportunity, while others struggle with even the smallest setbacks? What's the difference between these two types of people? I'll tell you, it's their mindset. The people who seem to have it all figured out aren't necessarily luckier or more talented than the rest of us. They've simply mastered the art of acting as if everything always works out for them. And today I'm going to show you how you can do the same. Now, let's break this down. What does it mean to act as if? It means adopting the mindset, the behaviors, and the attitudes of someone who believes that no matter what happens, it will ultimately work out in their favor. It's about approaching life with unwavering optimism and unshakable confidence. But here's the important part. This isn't about blind optimism or burying your head in the sand when things get tough. No, this is about intelligent optimism. It's about looking at every situation, good or bad, and asking yourself, how can this work out for me? What's the opportunity here? You see, when you start to act as if everything always works out for you, you begin to see possibilities where others see problems. You start to find solutions where others find excuses. And most importantly, you start to create the very reality you're acting out. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're in a job you don't particularly enjoy. Most people in this situation would complain, become disengaged, and eventually either quit or worse, stay and become bitter. But someone who acts as if everything always works out for them, they'd approach it differently. They'd say, okay, I'm in this job for a reason. What can I learn here? How can I use this experience to grow? What skills can I develop that will serve me in my future dream job? They'd give it their all. Seek out opportunities to shine. And use the experience as a stepping stone to something greater. And you know what happens when you approach life this way. Opportunities start to present themselves. People start to notice your positive attitude and your willingness to go above and beyond. Doors begin to open that you never even knew existed. This, my friends, is the power of acting as if everything always works out for you. It's not about waiting for life to hand you what you want on a silver platter. It's about creating the mindset and taking the actions that make success inevitable. Now, I can already hear some of you thinking, but Jim, what about when things really go wrong? What about when life throws you a curveball that you just can't see any good in? Well, let me tell you, those are the moments when this mindset is most crucial. When life knocks you down, and trust me, it will, the act as if mindset isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about getting back up, dusting yourself off, and saying, all right, this didn't go as planned, but how can I use this setback to set myself up for an even greater comeback? You see, success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about how you respond to failure. The most successful people in the world have faced enormous setbacks. But what sets them apart is their ability to view these setbacks as setups for future success. Take Thomas Edison, for example. When he was working on inventing the light bulb, he failed over 1,000 times. Can you imagine that? Over 1,000 failed attempts. But do you know what he said about those failures? He said, I have not failed 1,000 times. I have successfully discovered 1,000 ways to not make a light bulb. That, my friends, is the epitome of acting as if everything always works out for you. Edison didn't see 1,000 failures. He saw 1,000 lessons, 1,000 steps closer to his goal. And ultimately, it did work out for him, didn't it? We're not sitting here in the dark, are we? Now, let's talk about how you can start implementing this mindset in your own life. The first step is to become aware of your current thought patterns. How do you typically react when things don't go your way? Do you immediately jump to worst-case scenarios? Do you blame others or circumstances? Or do you look for the silver lining? Awareness is the first step to change. Once you become aware of your thought patterns, you can start to consciously shift them. And that's where the act as if part comes in. Start small. The next time something doesn't go as planned, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, if I were someone who believed everything always works out for me, how would I view this situation? What would I do next? This simple shift in perspective can be transformative. Instead of feeling stressed or disappointed, you might start to feel curious or even excited about the potential hidden opportunity in the situation. Now, I want to be clear about something. Acting as if everything always works out for you doesn't mean you'll never feel negative emotions. You're human, after all. You'll still feel disappointed, frustrated, or sad at times. The difference is you won't let these emotions define your actions or your outlook. Instead, you'll acknowledge these feelings, process them, and then choose to act from a place of optimism and possibility. It's about emotional intelligence, recognizing your feelings but not being controlled by them. This mindset also doesn't mean you'll become passive, waiting for good things to fall into your lap. Quite the opposite, actually. When you truly believe that everything will work out for you, you become more proactive. You take more calculated risks, you pursue opportunities with greater enthusiasm, and you persist in the face of obstacles because you know that somehow, some way, it will all work out in your favor. Let's talk about persistence for a moment. Persistence is a crucial component of the act as if mindset. When you believe that everything always works out for you, giving up simply isn't an option. You understand that success often comes just after the point where most people would quit. Think about it this way. Imagine you're digging for gold. You've been digging for days, weeks, maybe even months. You're tired, you're discouraged, and you're starting to think maybe there isn't any gold after all. Most people would give up at this point. But someone with the act as if mindset, they'd keep digging. They'd think, if I've come this far without finding gold, I must be closer than ever. The next shovel of dirt could be the one that reveals the treasure. And you know what? More often than not, they'd be right. Success is often just around the corner from where most people give up. By acting as if everything always works out for you, develop the persistence to keep going when others would quit. Now let's address another important aspect of this mindset, gratitude. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you naturally become more grateful. You start to appreciate not just the big wins, but also the small victories and even the lessons learned from setbacks. Gratitude is like a magnet for positivity. The more grateful you are, the more reasons you find to be grateful. It's a beautiful cycle that reinforces your belief that everything is working out in your favor. Start each day by listing 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you're grateful for a warm cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend, or a beautiful sunrise. As you practice this habit, you'll find yourself naturally noticing more and more things to be grateful for throughout your day. This practice of gratitude ties directly into another crucial aspect of acting as if everything always works out for you, focusing on what you have rather than what you lack. Too often we get caught up in what we don't have, the job we wish we had, the car we can't afford, the relationship we dream of. But when you act as if everything always works out for you, you shift your focus to what you do have. You see, success and happiness aren't about having everything you want. They're about wanting what you already have. When you appreciate what you have, you open yourself up to receiving more. It's like the universe says, oh, you're grateful for what you have? Here, have some more. This doesn't mean you stop striving for more or setting goals. It means you approach your goals from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. Instead of thinking, I need to achieve this goal to be happy, you think, I'm already happy, and achieving this goal will add even more joy to my life. Now, let's talk about how this mindset affects your relationships. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you become the kind of person others want to be around. Your positivity becomes infectious. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and optimism. Think about it. Would you rather spend time with someone who's always complaining about how nothing ever goes their way? Or someone who approaches life with enthusiasm and sees opportunity in every situation? The answer is obvious, isn't it? By adopting this mindset, you'll find your relationships improving across the board. You'll be more patient with others because you trust that any conflicts or misunderstandings will ultimately work out. You'll be more supportive of others' dreams and goals because you know that their success doesn't diminish your own. There's plenty of success to go around. You'll also find that you attract more positive people into your life. Like attracts like, after all, as you radiate positivity and optimism, you'll naturally draw in others who share that outlook. Your network will begin to fill with people who support your growth, challenge you to be better, and celebrate your successes. Now, I want to address something important. Some of you might be thinking, Jim, this all sounds great, but isn't it a bit selfish? To always think about how things can work out for me, and that's a fair question. But here's the thing, when you act as if everything always works out for you, you're not just benefiting yourself. You're benefiting everyone around you. Think about it this way, when you're operating from a place of positivity and abundance, you have more to give to others. You have more energy, more enthusiasm, more resources to share. You're in a better position to lift others up, to contribute to your community, to make a positive impact on the world. It's like what they tell you on airplanes, put your own oxygen mask on first before helping others. By adopting this mindset, you're putting on your own oxygen mask. You're ensuring that you're in the best possible position to help others. Let's talk about fear for a moment. Fear is one of the biggest obstacles that prevents people from acting as if everything always works out for them. Fear of failure, fear of disappointment, fear of looking foolish. These fears can paralyze us, keeping us stuck in our comfort zones. But here's the thing about fear. It's often based on imagining worst-case scenarios that rarely come to pass. When you act as if everything always works out for you, flip the script on fear. Instead of imagining the worst, you imagine the best. This doesn't mean you become reckless or ignore potential risks. It means you approach risks intelligently, weighing the potential benefits against the potential downsides. And even when you do decide to take a risk, you do so with the confidence that no matter what happens, you'll find a way to make it work out in your favor. Remember, courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and taking action anyway, trusting that you have the resilience and resourcefulness to handle whatever comes your way. Now, let's talk about failure. In our society, failure is often seen as something to be avoided at all costs. But when you act as if everything always works out for you, you start to see failure differently. You see it as feedback, as a stepping stone to success, as a necessary part of the learning process. Think about a baby learning to walk. They fall down countless times, but do we call those falls failures? Of course not. We celebrate each attempt knowing that each fall is bringing them closer to success. Why should it be any different for us as adults? When you embrace this mindset, you become more willing to try new things, to step out of your comfort zone, to take calculated risks, because you know that even if things don't go as planned, you'll find a way to turn it into a positive experience. This leads me to another crucial point, flexibility. Acting as if everything always works out for you doesn't mean rigidly sticking to one path or one definition of success. It means being flexible, being willing to adjust your course as needed. Sometimes what we think we want isn't actually what's best for us. Sometimes life has even better plans for us than we could have imagined for ourselves. By staying flexible and open to possibilities, you allow yourself to recognize and seize opportunities that you might have otherwise missed. It's like the old saying goes, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans when you act as if everything always works out for you. You're able to roll with the punches, to adapt to changing circumstances, to find the silver lining in unexpected situations. Now let's talk about responsibility. This mindset of acting as if everything always works out for you goes hand in hand with taking full responsibility for your life. It's about recognizing that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you can always control your response. Too often people play the blame game. They blame their circumstances, their upbringing, the economy, their boss, their spouse, anyone and anything but themselves. But here's the truth. As long as you're blaming others, you're giving away your power. You're saying, my life is in someone else's hands. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you take back that power. You say, no matter what happens, I have the ability to respond in a way that serves me. This is incredibly empowering. It puts you in the driver's seat of your own life. This doesn't mean you blame yourself when things go wrong. It means you take responsibility for finding solutions, for learning from challenges, for making the best of every situation. It's about being proactive rather than reactive. Let's talk about goal setting for a moment. When you act as if everything always works out for you, your approach to setting and achieving goals changes. Instead of setting goals from a place of lack, I need to achieve this to be happy, you set goals from a place of growth and excitement. You set bigger goals because you're not afraid of failure. You pursue your dreams with more enthusiasm because you trust that the journey will be rewarding regardless of the outcome. And paradoxically, by not being so attached to the outcome, you often achieve your goals more easily. This mindset also allows you to enjoy the journey more. Too often we get so focused on the destination that we forget to appreciate the path that's taking us there. But when you act as if everything always works out for you, find joy in the process, in the growth, in the lessons learned along the way. Now, I want to address something important. This mindset isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect all the time. It's about approaching problems with a solution-oriented mindset. It's about asking better questions. Instead of asking, why does this always happen to me, you ask, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to grow? Instead of asking, what if I fail, you ask, what if I succeed? What's the best that can happen? The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you naturally start asking better questions. And better questions lead to better answers, which lead to better actions, which lead to better results. Let's talk about the role of imagination in this mindset. Einstein once said, imagination is more important than knowledge when you act as if everything always works out for you. You're essentially using your imagination to create a better reality for yourself. You're imagining a world where opportunities abound, where challenges are just disguised blessings, where every experience is a chance to learn and grow. And here's the amazing thing. Your brain doesn't really know the difference between what you vividly imagine and what's real. By consistently imagining positive outcomes, you're training your brain to look for and create those outcomes in your real life. This is why visualization is such a powerful tool. Athletes use it to improve their performance. Business leaders use it to achieve their goals. And you can use it too, to reinforce this mindset of acting as if everything always works out for you. Take a few minutes each day to close your eyes and vividly imagine your ideal life. See yourself confidently handling challenges, joyfully pursuing your goals, gratefully appreciating all the good in your life. The more real you can make this in your mind, the more you'll find yourself naturally acting this way in your daily life. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Some of you might be thinking, this all sounds great, Jim, but what about when truly terrible things happen? What about loss, tragedy, serious illness? And that's a valid question. Life does sometimes throw us curveballs that seem impossible to spin into something positive. But here's the thing, acting as if everything always works out for you isn't about denying the pain or difficulty of these situations. It's about maintaining hope and looking for growth opportunities even in the darkest times. It's about saying, this is incredibly hard and I wouldn't have chosen this. But since it's happening, how can I use it to become stronger, more compassionate, more appreciative of life? It's about trusting that even if you can't see it now, there's a lesson or a gift hidden in this experience. Some of the most inspiring people in history are those who have faced incredible adversity and used it as fuel for personal growth and to help others. They didn't choose their circumstances, but they chose their response to those circumstances. Remember, acting as if everything always works out for you doesn't mean everything will always be easy or pleasant. It means trusting that you have the strength and resilience to weather any storm and that you'll come out the other side stronger and wiser. Let's talk about the concept of reframing. Reframing is a powerful tool in the arsenal of someone who acts as if everything always works out for them. It's about changing the way you look at a situation to find a more empowering perspective. For example, instead of seeing a job loss as a disaster, you might reframe it as an opportunity to pursue a career you're truly passionate about. Instead of seeing a relationship breakup as a failure, you might reframe it as a chance to grow and prepare yourself for an even better relationship in the future. Reframing doesn't change the facts of a situation, but it changes your emotional response to those facts. And when you change your emotional response, you change the actions you take, which ultimately changes your results. This ties into another important aspect of this mindset, emotional intelligence. When you act as if everything always works out for you, become more aware of your emotions and more skilled at managing them. You learn to use your emotions as information rather than letting them control you. For instance, if you feel frustrated, instead of lashing out or giving up, you might ask yourself, what's this frustration telling me? What needs to change? How can I use this energy constructively? By doing this, you turn potentially negative emotions into fuel for positive change. Now, let's talk about the power of words. The language you use, both in your internal dialogue and in your conversations with others, plays a huge role in shaping your reality. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you naturally start to use more positive, empowering language. Instead of saying, I have to, you say, I get to. Instead of, this is a problem, you say, this is a challenge. Instead of, I can't, you say, how can I? These might seem like small changes, but they have a big impact on your mindset and your actions. Pay attention to your words. Are they aligned with someone who believes everything always works out for them? If not, consciously choose to shift your language. You'll be amazed at how this simple change can transform your outlook and your results. Let's discuss the concept of abundance versus scarcity. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're operating from a mindset of abundance. You believe there's enough success, enough opportunities, enough good things to go around for everyone. This is in stark contrast to a scarcity mindset where people believe there's not enough to go around, leading to competition, jealousy, and fear. An abundance mindset allows you to celebrate others' successes, knowing that their win doesn't diminish your own opportunities. It allows you to be generous, knowing that what you give will come back to you multiplied. Operating from abundance also allows you to take more calculated risks. When you believe there's always more where that came from, you're not paralyzed by the fear of losing what you have. You're willing to invest in yourself, to try new things, to step out of your comfort zone. Now let's talk about the role of action in this mindset. Acting as if everything always works out for you isn't about sitting back and waiting for good things to happen. It's about taking inspired action, confident that your efforts will pay off. When you truly believe that everything will work out for you, you become more proactive. You don't wait for opportunities to fall into your lap. You go out and create them. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You make the moment perfect by your attitude and your actions. This mindset gives you the courage to take the first step, even when you can't see the whole staircase. It gives you the perseverance to keep going when the path gets tough. It gives you the flexibility to adjust your course as needed, always trusting that you're moving in the right direction. Let's address the concept of personal growth. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you naturally become committed to continuous self-improvement. You see, every experience is a chance to learn, to grow, to become a better version of yourself. This mindset turns you into a lifelong learner. You become curious about everything. Every person you meet has something to teach you. Every book has wisdom to offer. Every challenge has a lesson hidden within it. You're always asking, what can I learn from this? How can this help me grow? And here's the beautiful thing, as you grow, your capacity to handle life's challenges grows too. What once seemed like insurmountable obstacles become mere stepping stones on your path to success. You become more resilient, more adaptable, more resourceful. Now, let's talk about the impact of this mindset on your decision making. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you make decisions from a place of confidence rather than fear. You're not paralyzed by what ifs because you trust that no matter what you choose, you'll find a way to make it work out. This doesn't mean you become reckless or ignore potential consequences. It means you weigh your options carefully, make the best decision you can with the information you have, and then commit to making that decision work out for you. You'll also become more willing to trust your intuition. Often our gut feelings are right, but we ignore them because we're afraid of making the wrong choice. When you believe everything will work out for you, you're more willing to listen to and act on that inner wisdom. Let's discuss the concept of energy. Everything in the universe is energy, including our thoughts and emotions. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're vibrating at a higher energy frequency. You're radiating positivity, confidence, and optimism. And here's the thing about energy, it's contagious. People can feel your energy when you walk into a room. When you're operating from this high energy state, you naturally attract more positive people, experiences, and opportunities into your life. This ties into the law of attraction like attracts like. By consistently maintaining this positive energy, you're sending a powerful message to the universe about what you want to attract into your life. Now, let's talk about resilience. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you naturally become more resilient. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to adapt to change, to keep going in the face of adversity. This mindset builds resilience because it reframes setbacks as temporary and surmountable. Instead of being knocked down by challenges, you see them as opportunities to prove your strength and adaptability. You develop a "this too shall pass" attitude that helps you weather any storm. Resilience is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And when you approach life with the belief that everything will work out for you, you're constantly flexing and strengthening that resilience muscle. Let's address the concept of self-fulfilling prophecies. There's a psychological phenomenon where our expectations about a situation influence our behavior in a way that causes those expectations to come true. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're essentially creating a positive self-fulfilling prophecy. By expecting positive outcomes, you unconsciously behave in ways that make those outcomes more likely. You're more confident, more open to opportunities, more persistent in the face of obstacles. And these behaviors increase your chances of success, thus fulfilling your expectation that everything will work out. Now, let's talk about the impact of this mindset on your physical health. Our minds and bodies are intimately connected. When you consistently maintain a positive outlook, believing that everything will work out for you, it can have profound effects on your physical well-being. Stress is a major contributor to many health problems, but when you trust that everything will work out, you naturally experience less stress. You're more relaxed, more at peace, even in challenging situations. This can lead to lower blood pressure, better sleep, a stronger immune system, and overall better health. Moreover, this mindset can motivate you to take better care of your health. When you believe that everything works out for you, you're more likely to see healthy habits as opportunities rather than chores. Exercise becomes a chance to strengthen your body, healthy eating becomes a way to fuel your success, and rest becomes a valuable tool for recharging your batteries. Let's discuss the concept of synchronicity. Carl Jung defines synchronicity as meaningful coincidences, events that seem to be connected but can't be explained by conventional mechanisms of causality. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you become more attuned to these synchronicities in your life. You start to notice how things seem to fall into place at just the right time. You meet the right person, come across the right opportunity, or have an insight at exactly the moment you need it. It's as if the universe is conspiring to help you succeed. Now, skeptics might say this is just confirmation bias, that you're simply noticing the coincidences that confirm your belief while ignoring those that don't. And there might be some truth to that. But here's the thing, even if it is just a matter of perception, isn't it more empowering and enjoyable to go through life noticing all the ways things are working out for you? Let's talk about the concept of flow. Flow is a state of mind where you're fully immersed in what you're doing, feeling energized focus and enjoyment in the process of the activity. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're more likely to experience this state of flow. Why? Because you're not held back by doubt or fear. You're fully engaged in the present moment, trusting in your abilities and in the positive outcome of your efforts. This allows you to lose yourself in the task at hand, leading to higher levels of productivity and satisfaction. Now, let's address the impact of this mindset on your creativity. When you believe that everything always works out for you, you become more creative in your problem solving. You're not limited by conventional thinking or held back by the fear of failure. Instead, you're willing to think outside the box, to try new approaches, to see connections that others might miss. Your creativity flourishes because you trust that even if an idea doesn't work out as planned, something valuable will come from the attempt. Let's talk about the concept of personal power. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're claiming your personal power. You're saying, I have the ability to shape my life, to influence my circumstances, to create my own reality. This is incredibly empowering. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you feel like the author of your own life story. You recognize that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you always have control over your response. And in that response lies your power. Now, let's discuss the impact of this mindset on your relationships. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you bring a positive energy to your interactions with others. You're more patient, more understanding, more willing to give others the benefit of the doubt. This doesn't mean you become a doormat or allow others to take advantage of you. It means you approach relationships with an attitude of abundance and goodwill. You're not operating from a place of fear or scarcity, so you're able to be more generous, more supportive, more authentic in your connections with others. Let's talk about the concept of momentum. In physics, momentum is the product of mass and velocity. In life, it's much the same. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you start to build positive momentum in your life. Each small success, each challenge overcome, each positive attitude maintained in the face of adversity, these all contribute to your forward motion. And as you gain momentum, it becomes easier to keep moving forward, to overcome obstacles, to achieve your goals. Now, let's address the impact of this mindset on your career. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you become the kind of employee or entrepreneur that others want to work with and do business with. You're solution-oriented, resilient, and positive, all qualities that are highly valued in the workplace. You're also more likely to take calculated risks, to pursue opportunities, to step up for challenges. This proactive attitude can lead to faster career advancement and greater success in your business ventures. Let's talk about the concept of authenticity. Some people might worry that acting as if everything always works out for you means putting on a false front or denying reality. But that's not what this mindset is about at all. In fact, it's about being more authentic, not less. When you truly embrace this mindset, it becomes a genuine part of who you are. You're not pretending that everything is perfect all the time. You're simply choosing to approach life with optimism and trust, even when things are difficult. This is a deeply authentic way to live, as it aligns your actions with your highest beliefs about what's possible for your life. Now, let's discuss the impact of this mindset on your spiritual life, whatever that means for you. Whether you're religious, spiritual, but not religious, or neither, this mindset can deepen your connection to something greater than yourself. For some, it might strengthen their faith in a higher power. For others, it might foster a greater sense of connection to the universe or to humanity as a whole. For still others, it might simply cultivate a deeper appreciation for the mysteries and wonders of life. Let's talk about the concept of legacy. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you're not just impacting your own life, you're setting an example for others. You're showing those around you what's possible when you approach life with optimism and resilience. Think about the impact you could have on your children, your friends, your colleagues. By embodying this mindset, you're leaving a legacy of positivity and possibility that can ripple out far beyond your immediate circle. Now, let's address how this mindset can help you navigate uncertain times. We live in a world that's constantly changing, and that change seems to be happening at an ever-increasing pace. This can be unsettling, even frightening at times. But when you act as if everything always works out for you, you're better equipped to handle uncertainty. Instead of fearing change, you embrace it as an opportunity for growth and new possibilities. You trust that whatever comes, you'll find a way to make it work in your favor. Let's talk about the concept of presence. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you become more present in your daily life. You're not constantly worrying about the future or regretting the past. You're engaged in the here and now, trusting that this moment is exactly where you need to be. This presence allows you to fully appreciate the good things in your life. It allows you to be more effective in your work, more connected in your relationships, more aware of the beauty and opportunities that surround you. Now let's discuss how this mindset can help you overcome limiting beliefs. We all have beliefs about ourselves and the world that hold us back, beliefs like I'm not good enough.